everybody, welcome to more 2.5 Weebs. This week we're going to be covering season 2 of Fairy Gone, just the first 3 episodes of it. We are joined as Fairy Goner. There we go. Yeah, well done. That is,
it's not good.
That is Comfy and Copper, as
Hello,
always. Hi. How are you guys?
Hello.
Oh man, I'm a goner.
Better now they don't have to watch more episodes of this show.
Man, how is the animation simultaneously better and worse?
I don't know. Also, the fact that they like rewrote parts and didn't really mention it, and it still was irrelevant.
So I might have watched it while half asleep.
Yeah.
What parts did they rewrite?
Okay, so it starts.
I don't remember.
Episode 1 of this season is like a flashback from like 20 years ago, and you see who you discovered to be Marlia's father. They used to live out in the forest in a village that would like protect fairies from other shit. It was a
fairy village, yeah.
It was a fairy village, yes. And like they used to basically act as like fairy patrol.
Guardians of the Forest.
Guardians of the Forest. That sounds not as stupid. But anyway, like what they would do is they would protect the fairies from people, but at the same time, when a fairy started killing other fairies, they were like, let's get involved and stop nature. Because that makes sense. So her father gets murdered by like some giant super fairy that what do they name it? They call it something.
It was the big bear.
The esteemed one?
Yes, that's what they called it. And for some reason, like this fairy would kill the other fairies, which, you know, seems fucking natural. Animals kill animals. And they were like, let's get involved. And
are you calling
why?
Fairies animals?
They are.
Yes. Suck it up.
So her father gets killed by this one, and then her mother dies in childbirth, and everybody's like, this is a cursed child, which we already kind of knew about.
Can we like stop for a second? Like, what's up with the whole cursed child? It was like, oh my god, these two natural causes made this person's parents die. Now she's an orphan. Let's fucking ostracize her for life.
Yeah,
right.
so it's a matter of like they're like, oh, all this bad luck happened to this family, and they left this orphan. It's like the kid's probably bad luck too, because the parents had a run of bad luck that killed them both. So who wants the bad luck kid?
They were so mean.
Not I.
Oh
they
my
really
God.
were too. Like all of the kids were super mean until Veronica, who they kept calling Ver, because Ver, I hate that. So they
Can I just
spent
really quick,
literally
it wasn't just the kids being mean. Like the fucking adults would shut their windows when she walked by.
They would too. It was like
Holy
ridiculous.
crap.
It was so dumb. But so they have one like half a day hanging out with Marlia and Veronica. It might have been more. It was Veronica. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. Is that not what I said? Okay. Anyway.
I thought he said harmonica.
I thought you said Veronica.
Okay. I can't talk apparently. But either way, they hang out. It felt like they hung out for like a day, and all of a sudden they're like best friends, bonded for life. Wait 20 years.
There's not a lot of.
Wait, are you saying we weren't best friends after one day?
We weren't.
That is the one day where everybody got murdered in their village, and then they never saw each other again for 20 years.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of time framing very well in the show.
Yeah.
Which is an issue we've had before. They move around in time in this show from backwards and forwards. But
they don't do it well.
They don't do it well because they'll say
to point out like when
they point out
but
at the start. Like at the start, and they're like back in the past. They're like, it's back in the past. And then all these events happen, which are obviously taking place over a number of years. They don't mention how far along each time they move forward. And so you can't tell from one scene to the next if they've actually moved forward a day, a year, a month. Like it does not give any context for them moving forward in time, which is a problem because, as Dale pointed out, we have these two characters who meet. Seems like they're together for like 5 minutes and they're like besties. It's like, what the fuck? Like it doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, when
'Cause-
everybody bullies you throughout your entire fucking childhood, including the adults, the first person that's ever nice to you is probably going to be like, I fucking love you.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you do
that
make
person
a good point.
would
But-
attach themselves pretty strongly, but it wouldn't be reciprocal. And this is
Right.
very much a reciprocal
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So
It doesn't make any. It just
it's-
kind of comes out of nowhere.
it's just more not great writing from the show, which is an
Right.
issue we've had in the
In
past.
the first season, yeah.
So
In the
a
rest
lot
of
of the
show.
yeah, so a lot of the problems we've had kind of continue throughout these 3 episodes. Like the pacing's not super great. There's time skips and they don't explain stuff. There's the whole they stuck with the CG animation, which is just yay.
Why?
Um,
Why would you do that? Okay, listen.
I don't know, because here's the thing.
There's nothing wrong with 3D CG. There's absolutely nothing wrong.
There's not.
However, when you mix it with 2D animation, you need to be extremely careful in how you do it. And
Because the
nobody
styles,
is.
because either you have to make sure that it's so stylistic and that it doesn't appear like it's that it's CG,
Uh-huh.
or it needs to match the style of the traditional animation in the first place. Because here's the thing, this show is actually pretty well animated, which we've said before. It's a good looking show. The character designs are nice, the world design is nice, stuff looks good.
And I would
Great.
even argue that the 2D stuff is even better in this season than it previously was.
Yes, it is. It 100% is. This season's 2D animation, they obviously got a bigger budget.
Noticeably better.
And it is noticeably better. And it was fine. Like, it was good before. It's still really good now. And they ruined shit with that awful 3D CG because it doesn't fit the world. And it's so jarring when you see it.
The biggest issue for 3D CG, and this is something that is very apparent for someone like me and Copper, who have worked in a lot of like After Effects, Adobe Premiere, and animated things. Both of them, when you animate 3D stuff, you animate the entirety of it, and it makes a lot of natural motions for you. And generally, when you export it in 24 frames per second. When you're animating drawing, you have to animate every single frame individually. And that's why when you see shows like Demon Slayer that have these amazing like 2-minute sequences of 24 frames per second, it probably took them months to make that 2-minute scene.
Yeah,
and it's
depending
amazing.
Depending on who's doing it. Some animators are much faster than others.
Yeah. But so for the most part, a lot of anime, I'll actually talk about this later because I've been watching One Piece, which has a lot of just still frames. They try to cut as many corners as possible to save budget to do a lot more.
Yes.
And for the most part, they animate in 12 frames per second. In shows like Dragon Ball, you'll see it go all the way down to 3 frames per second because they can just cut it in very specific points in time. And
it's also why Dragon Ball has when you see two Saiyans, or two people fighting in Dragon Ball, there's a lot of blurred motion.
Yeah.
So they don't have to animate stuff.
Exactly. So, but the problem is when you draw it in 2D, there's a lot of stop and go and a lot of movements that they need to make seem natural. And if you have that and you have these things that are kind of moving and you're getting into it and you're like, all right, yeah, I can see this working, and you're getting that suspension of disbelief. And then this thing just comes out that is smooth as hell and making weird ass movements, then it throws you out of it completely. And that's why 3D doesn't work well. And the problem is that people have tried to implement 3D in every single conceivable way. 24 frames, cutting it down to 12 frames, cutting it down to 12 frames with blur. It doesn't work well unless it's done extremely carefully. And the best way I've seen it implemented is doing a 3D CG and then drawing over it to save time.
Yeah.
So that's my piece on it. That's my little rant.
Was that your one piece on it?
Option. It's a cost-saving measure, but in a show like this, where obviously the budget has gone up for the second season, this show would be better, in part, if they got rid of the CG and put in traditional 2D animation for these characters. Because we've looked at a show that is like this one previously that we all liked, where we have characters. Yes, where we have characters that turn into monsters. Great, and they're actually animated in the normal same style, and it fits so much better. It doesn't take you out of the story, like seeing these things come out and they're like, oh, here's this puppet thing. Like, obviously we've drawn it elsewhere and kind of stuck it in afterwards. Like, it's not good. Like, it's very, very jarring. Now that's not the only issue this show has. It's as we said, It's got the time skip issue. It's got pacing issues. The story is a little overly convoluted, and it kind of like goes back on itself quite a bit still. Like in the first season, we had the issue where they're like, there's this war between all the fairy people. Now there's only this many left. And then right after that, it's just like fairy person, fairy person, fairy person, fairy person. You're like, didn't you say there was only like 12 of these people still kicking around? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. But they all have to converge, of course. And, you know, they're all fighting the same battles together because why the fuck wouldn't
it does, but if you start counting them, you're like, well, here's these people who work for the government. We know they're fairies. And here's like these these noblemen people. We know they're fairies. You know, and there's just these other people that we know are fairies. So there should only be like there should only be like 5 people left in the world who are fairies, and then they're like fairy person, fairy person, fairy person, fairy person, fairy person. It's like,
and so what's great about that? So I've compared this a million times to be just worse JoJo's because they're just stands but worse because they're in 3D CG. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure does the same thing where it's like, all right, we have all the we have all the stands of major tarot cards, and then you get through all of them, and it's like, wait, now there's stands of Egyptian gods, and it's like, okay, now what? It's like, all right, this dude's called Green Day. Not kidding. They do Green Day. Aerosmith is another one. Like they just do a lot of bands. It's funny.
Dope.
But, yes, that's been a thing since season 1 with them. Yeah. That's a running joke.
Oh, absolutely. But also another thing about the CG. You can put CG in as long as it's not the main goddamn focus. We've been watching Vinland Saga week to week. I'm sure you guys have noticed that a lot of the background characters have been converted to 3D because they're background characters, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but Vinland does do that. They do 3D stuff to save time in areas, but it's, as Comfy said, a background thing. It's not the main focus, and it's always slightly out of focus as well, so it's not jarring. Like, as this is main character up front interacting with hand-drawn characters, and they're in 2 different animation styles.
Yeah, like it's the main fight scenes in Vinland Saga are incredibly animated 2D animation. Like the moment that they get to a fight scene, all of the 3D CG characters are turned into 2D characters and interact the right way. Yeah. But that seems to be the opposite for Fairygon, and it doesn't pan out well for them.
Yeah, like there's been shots where it looks like they've done some of the fairies as 2D, like actual drawn animation, because they're standing still, and they're like, they're starting to move now. Here, they're CG now. It's like, but they don't even look the same anymore. Like, it's very annoying. So, I really don't want to go through every 3 episodes of this. We've got
Copper.
Dab.
Hello? Discord died for Copper.
Did Copper die?
Copper died. Hello?
Hello?
What happened? Copper died. You said you didn't want to go over all 3 episodes?
Well, not in a super meta detail.
Right, sure. I get
because we've done a whole season of this.
Right.
If you followed through the first season and you wanted to start watching the second, obviously you would have done so now.
Right.
I can't say, having watched the first 3 episodes of this second season, that it's worth it to go through the first season to get to this point.
No,
I just can't. It's not.
No,
it hasn't improved enough that I would say give this show a second chance to anybody who is thinking about it.
Sure.
Like, they've got more money, great. The story's still something of a mess. The characters are still something of a mess.
Okay, so something that I noticed is they have rewritten parts of
and they've rewritten stuff. Yes, that was something they did
one
as
of
well.
the things in the first season was when she was talking about how she's like the cursed child. After her parents died in the first season, she was taken in by a hunter who later died of natural causes. He just got sick and fucking died. But in this season, they just kind of said, nope, JK. And in the whole village that was destroyed by Ray Dawn, which they only mentioned in the first season, like they kind of talk about it a little bit, but they don't like show.
They don't go into a lot of detail for it.
Right. A cool name at least.
And in the end of season 1, Ray Dawn is basically the person who like shows up at the end to like, does he save the Emperor or does he let the Emperor get killed and then he's like, ha, I'm powerful now?
No, he saves
I don't remember.
Yeah, the Emperor gets saved.
Okay. So he basically is kind of throwing himself into a position of power, and he's been a villain. He shows up with his army and kills everybody in Marlia's village, including he kills her adopted father, who also this time is his fucking brother now, because why not?
It's now his brother, and
Came
he's
out of
from
nowhere.
the village. He's not
right.
He's supposed to be a nobleman, right? So, but apparently he's from this village of peasants,
right?
Which is like okay, and then suddenly Marlia is now his basically adopted niece, which is like, wait, what?
What? Right? Yeah. But now you actually feel like people are like, oh,
like it gives
we
more
hate
background
rape.
and context.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Yeah, it is a better background for her. But we're in the second season, and we've kind of gone through a whole season where it's like this is her background, and she's not really mad at him. She's she's not happy. Her
like how is she not
she has
fucking
no personal hate?
Yeah, like she
right?
still doesn't. She still doesn't. Like she's just like, what are you gonna do?
Because here's the thing. Those villagers didn't like her. They treated her like shit. And Veronica's still alive. That's the only person in the village that she liked. So she didn't really lose anybody to him. Whereas now it's like, oh no, I killed your adopted parents, everybody else in the village.
Well, it was only her father. I don't think she had an adopted mother. It was just the adopted father. But yeah, not only is she like doesn't hate him, but she is in the fucking army and is like, I'm going to protect him from assassination.
Her thought process is, and she says this like 80 times, like they fucking nail this into your head is, if he dies now, nothing's going to change. Like, if I kill him now, nothing's going to happen. Like, he's just going to be dead, and that's not going to do anybody any good. So I have no reason to deal with it. Meanwhile, it's constantly cutting to Veronica's like, but I'm going to make sure he fucking dies.
Yes.
And then
Veronica would have more personal cause to hate him because she wasn't ostracized by the village. Like, and so she lost all of her friends, extended family, and her own parents would have been killed there too. So, like, I get Veronica's standpoint. Marlia's standpoint makes more and less sense now. Like, and this is the issue with this show. It does stuff like this. Like,
yeah. It's trying so hard, and I'm like, good tries, but I don't care.
Yeah, and
but
it's not like they have an excuse for it either. Like, I've been recently watching Heroes for the first time with the girlfriend because I never watched Heroes when it was on TV originally.
Oh, the TV show? Okay. Yeah, it gets really bad.
So here's the thing with Heroes. When it goes through, right, there's some drop storylines they do, and they don't really pick back up, which make no sense.
Right.
But I also know that the show had a problem with the writer's strike, back when it occurred. And
I think that was one of the shows that suffered the most from the writer's strike.
Yes.
I never watched it, but I heard a lot.
It suffered the most and stayed on air. There's other shows that suffered and never made it back to the screen because of it. They just basically got canceled.
But there was a very big following for Heroes because it was a good show.
It was, and I've been enjoying it. We're in season 3 now. It's still fine, but there's some specific things where I look at it and go, okay, where's this person? Like, you were so concerned about this person and what you did to them, and we're now in the next season and don't talk about them anymore. Right? You're not trying to solve the issue. Like, there's some things like that. So I'm like, eh. And this show is like that as well, but the problem is they don't have an excuse. Like, they have a source material they should be pulling from directly because I'm pretty sure this is a manga, and it's not like there's a great big time difference or problem between the first season and the second. Like, the first season came out just this year. Like, this is the new show, so they would have did the first season, gotten the okay immediately for the second season, and got a bigger budget for it, and yet this is where we're at still. Like,
yep.
Yeah. So
this is still not a recommended show. It's
well, like
about the 2 episodes.
See, we still had like the first episode, which was like, here's the backstory,
the rewritten backstory,
and then episode 2 was somebody was basically assaulting Ray Dawn, and they defended Ray Dawn. At the end, Veronica shows up to try to assassinate Ray Dawn along with the other assassinators. But
how many times can we say Ray Dawn in one sentence?
I don't care. At least twice. But so
Ray Dawn survives.
Yes, of course he does. Veronica goes through a hole in a wall. What pushes her out? I don't remember. Was it Ray Dawn himself, or she goes out a window? No, she jumps. She jumps because Marlia and Free show up.
Well, so Veronica breaks in, and Wolfran's just there for some reason.
Because he is defending Ray Dawn as well, and of course, Free and Wolfram, who's the blonde who Free kind of has beef with.
Well, because he abandoned the army, yes.
Right.
He's a deserter from the army.
And Wolfram just kind of tells Free that there's like, he hints towards there's some conspiracy. He doesn't know what's going on. You don't understand what you're doing, because of course.
I don't understand.
So after Veronica goes out the hole in the wall, she falls for like, I don't know, out of a fucking castle into the river. So Marley's like YOLO and jumps out after her. Pulls
Both
Veronica
these things would
out
actually kill you, chat.
Yes, Veronica pulls. Well, the fairies inside of them probably make them live. I don't know. That's just some bullshit I made up. But so Veronica,
it's probably more accurate than anything else in this show.
Yeah, Marlia pulls Veronica out of the river. They have a moment, and then that's basically episode 2. And episode 3 is basically like Marlia being insecure with herself, and then all of her friends like, "No, be great." That's it.
It's episode 3, you really did kind of sum it up with her being insecure and all of her friends being like, listen, you're fine. You're not like the most important person here.
Yeah, it's not. This is not a good show, chat. It's gotten worse.
I tried.
I don't know if I'd say. I don't think it's got. I don't know if it's gotten worse. They're trying to rewrite it and make it in a way better, but they're just not doing it well. So I mean.
Like, had they started off this backstory originally, it would have made the show better.
Yes, this backstory is better.
As the first episode of season 2.
Yes.
It just shows me that they weren't confident and are not happy with the product they made
in the first place.
Year.
Yeah.
This year, they made this. Like, it's not a year or two ago. It's this year was made.
This is modern as hell.
Yeah.
Like, they looked back on something they just did and went, oh, yeah, we could have done this better this way. Let's just, retcon it immediately. Like,
you know what would have been better than that? Like, honestly, just if the director sat down and was like, listen, we kind of screwed up the story, and this is how we're going to try to fix it.
Like, now, if the manga, like, I don't know how truthful they're being to the manga because I've never read Fairy Gun's manga, but
nobody has actually.
If the manga did this, right, said, here's the first story, and then retconned it later on, what you should have done as, for the show was take the retcon original, from where it's at now, and put it as the original. Like, they shouldn't follow that strictly if that's what they're doing, because it would make more sense. Like, yeah, I can't recommend this show to anybody. It's not. Again, it's a good-looking show.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problems with the voice actors in this show. None of them are annoying.
The voice acting is totally fine. Like, I started recognizing voices.
Like, it's just.
I don't know Japanese voice actors.
It's not good. It's not.
Yeah, it's. There's just issues that pile on themselves to go, yeah, this isn't really worth the effort. There's some other really good shows out there to watch.
In the middle of the road, it's almost in oncoming traffic.
Yeah, and there'd be easy ways to fix it. It's just they don't bother to do it, and I think they're trying to. I think that's what they're trying to do with the rewrites, is they're trying to fix the problems that they've seen, that people have probably said, here's our issues with the show.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of a hard sell, like, to fix a show like that rather than relaunching the show. Like, for example, we watched Full Metal Alchemist, right? And we watched Brotherhood.
Yes.
So Brotherhood fixed the problems that the original Full Metal Alchemist had because they had a bunch of filler stuff and changed stuff. Brotherhood went back and fixed that, and it's a much better show for it.
So what we need is fairy returns,
like
and then it'll be a good show.
That's almost what they should have done here. Is they should have. They almost should have restarted the show. Like, that's what they probably should have done. Was go, okay, we're gonna restart the show for season 2, make it a quote new show like some shows do, and then just go from there.
Listen, I want that for so many shows. I'll say it for the millionth time. Please fucking remake Akame ga Kill.
Or how about this? give me season 2 of No Game No Life.
Oh man, if only the writer wasn't plagiarizing art, then maybe we'd get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could write the show.
Yeah, he just can't draw apparently, but he can.
He just
trace
can't draw.
stuff.
Fine, you can't draw. Well, that's fine. I got animators who can draw. I don't care about the manga. I want the TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what show this week was pretty cool?
That would be Vinland Saga, the actual good show we're watching.
Food Wars.
I haven't started the new season yet.
I haven't started any of it. Please no.
I'm waiting to binge watch the seasons. Food Wars.
You're on episode 5 right now. Waiting right now is good because they have gotten to a point where they're doing like one per episode. But it's still gonna take a while. But yeah, Vinland Saga was good this week.
Yes. So in terms of movement, very little happened in the show of them moving from the place they were in the last episode.
Well,
yes.
One would even say that they left and then went back.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
in terms of time frame, I think
it's probably been 10 minutes.
20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes have gone by.
Yeah.
It's like this episode's basically in real time from the end of last episode.
I would say less than 20 minutes have gone by, including the 20 minutes that this episode took place.
So, what happens in this episode is that, we have the confrontation between his old band of Askeladd's band of people and Askeladd, and they take off for the prince. And
we left off last week with Askeladd surrounded by his troops. Like, hey, we're gonna betray you. So he sends Bjorn, Thorfinn, and Canute on the sled,
and the priest on the sled. So they run away.
And the priest. So they run away. Some of the men that Askeladd had horses. So there's like 5 or 6 of them that chase Askeladd or chase Thorfinn.
And they chase after Bjorn, and Askeladd stays to deal with the other people, and he starts fighting them.
Yes, he kills a whole bunch of them while they attack him, and then he accidentally cuts a dude vertically in half, and he's like, "Fuck."
Yes,
I fucked up because then nobody else wanted to fight him. They were like, "Oh."
Yeah, he loses his temper, and then accidentally murders a guy to the point where he shows off his real skill and strength. So the other people are like, "Fuck this! We ain't fighting like this anymore." And so they use archers. And they're like, "He's like, well, you can't kill me because." I'm a bargaining chip that you're gonna need. So he's like, he's right. Shoot him in the legs. And that's
so like 10 archers shoot.
He thought of that.
Shoot him in the leg.
But it was really funny because they all decided to fight him, and he kills like 15 people.
He does, and he bemoans the fact that he's getting old, that he can't kill 50 men anymore by himself.
Yeah, but obviously, my favorite part is right at the beginning when they're like, "All right, we're gonna fight you." He's like, "Hey, can I say something first?" They're like, I mean, sure, I guess." He's like, "Fuck you guys! I hate all of you. You're fucking idiots. I cannot believe that you followed me. Holy shit, man! Did you know that my entire plan was to get you killed all along? God damn!" And just starts ripping into his team
because he really hates Danish people, and he's just finally unloading.
Massive racist.
Now, part of this was also a stall tactic.
Yes,
because at the same time, remember that they're confronting Askeladd and Bjorn's running away. They had spotted Thorkel and his people coming, and he's like,
they knew about him because like the 4 dudes that got speared.
Yeah. So Thorkel's people are coming during this time, and none of these guys are running away. So they're like, if we catch Askeladd and give him to Thorkel, we'll be fine. And so Thorkel shows up.
Well, because I remember he was up on the mountain, and he was like, wait, they're fighting. Hey, fuck you guys, wait for me. And he goes sprinting down the mountain
fighting without him.
with his 2 huge axes.
So much.
I love
that. He's such a good character.
So he shows up, sees that Askeladd's hurt, and so Askeladd's, his men, well, what had been his men, throw down their weapons, and they're like, "Okay, we surrender to you." It's like, "Look, we're going to give Askeladd to you. We've got some guys after Prince. We'll give them back to you. Like, just don't kill us." He's like,
"Yeah, fuck that.
No.
Cowards you get murdered." And then they not only murder them,
round them up. Well, here's the thing. They go, "Okay, pick up your weapons." They're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, pick up your weapons." They're like, "But why?" He's like, "Well, we're going to kill you. So, it's better for you to die like men and pick up your weapons so you get a chance to go to Valhalla." And they're like,
I love so much that Thorkel walks in and is like, hey, you're Askeladd? Yeah. You cut down the bridge? Yeah. Damn, you're pretty fucking smart. Yeah. All right, kill everybody but him.
And then the leader of the traders is confronted by Thorkel. And Thorkel's like, here's your axe. This guy's like, and basically Thorkel keeps talking to him and puts him into a catatonic state. Like, the guy just stops functioning. He breaks him.
Like,
his
he
mind goes,
just...
And Thorkel's like, hello. Oh, I think I broke him.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, I can't kill him like this.
And so they basically start killing all of his men. And during the same time, the horsemen who had left after Bjorn catch up with them. And since they can't attack the people on the sled itself, and the sled won't stop, one of them gets the, quote, bright idea of attacking one of the horses, which causes the cart to crash. Them all to fall down. Thorfinn hears about that they're, gonna kill Askeladd. He loses his shit because nobody can kill his adoptive daddy but him. So he jump kicks a guy off a horse.
Wait, no. Okay.
Rides back.
Did we talk about how they couldn't stop the horse? Because, like, if they got too close to the sled, Thorfinn was like, you're fucking dead. So,
Bjorn was sitting there with a spear. He's like, come and fucking fight me.
Yeah, they're like, well, we don't want to fight you. We can't hit, and we can't risk hitting the prince. They're like, I'm just going to kill the horse. And then Bjorn's like, are you fucking idiot? Like, so the sled crashes. They find the prince, and the prince is, like, unconscious but alive. So like, oh, good, he's still alive. And then Bjorn lifts the sled
off of him, eats his berserker mushroom.
And then
they're
like,
fuck.
Like, what are you going to do, Bjorn? And then he eats a berserker mushroom. They're like, oh, shit. And then it stops there. We don't really see much more of that. And Thorfinn rides back to the fight, rides through all the guys, and then loses his shit at Thorkel, because he's like, nobody gets to kill him. No, nobody was trying to kill Askeladd at this point, but me.
And
so, Thorkel takes this as a challenge, an official challenge. So he's going to have a duel with Thorfinn, or Deathwish Orphan, and if he wins, he gets to keep Askeladd and go free.
Can we just add one word to Thorfinn's name every episode?
Please do. And
Thorfinn the Orphan, Thorfinn the Deathwish Orphan, Thorfinn the Assassin Deathwish Orphan, Thorfinn Knife Throwing Deathwish Assassin Orphan. I can't even speak anymore.
Yeah.
So that's where we kind of leave off. We're gonna have
it literally leaves off where you're looking at, like, the camera pans back and forth between Thorfinn and Thorkel, and they're about to have a fight, and then it's like, next week.
So so this coming episode that is out today, we should have the duel between Thorkel and Thorfinn, as well as Bjorn going batshit crazy because he ate a berserker mushroom.
So yes, this week a giant will fight an orphan, and it will be entertaining.
Yes. We're going to watch David and Goliath.
A giant fights an orphan, and it's entertaining.
Yes.
That's
basically what this episode is going to be.
Dude, I love WWE. Fuck. Steph's is in my chat. He just made the same joke. He said still better pay-per-view than wrestling. Also, Thorkel is his spirit animal, which is obviously true. Thorkel is all of our spirit animals.
Oh, he's such a good character.
Play around with my friends. What time to go live?
So yeah, continue to be a great show, great pacing. It's hard not to love the show, and the only issue I have with the show is the fact that it is on Amazon. Now,
there's gonna be a lot of people that just never see it.
Yeah, but if you don't, they're not going to see the show, and it's.
Well, what's funny is I
have issues with Amazon because they turn off subtitles automatically, which is fucking annoying.
Yes, they do. Oh my god. But so
start an episode up.
I turn on subtitles for every single show that I watch because I like subtitles.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me. But like because this is on Amazon, it went like mostly unwatched for the entire first season until people like Giga, a big guy on YouTube for anime, was like, stop sleeping on this show. This is the best show of the season. Nobody's fucking watching it because it's on Amazon. Buy an Amazon Prime subscription and watch this show because it's made by the same people who made Attack on Titan, and it's even fucking better.
Yeah, this show would be doing so much better if it was on something like Crunchyroll or even Netflix.
Even Funimation.
Yeah.
And we all know about my opinions on Funimation.
And everybody hates Funimation. So it's just
It's not actually very fun.
Amazon is not the place I think of for anime. And
yeah.
hopefully they pick up some more. I mean, Netflix has recently picked up some more actual anime shows and been showing those on their service, which is great.
Netflix has been running all of the Fate shows for a while until just recently.
Well, the two recommendations I have for shows are both from Netflix this week. So
nice.
And they're actual anime, not like Netflix anime.
I've been seeing memes about a certain show, so I wanted to add it as like a hey, we should watch this because it's kind of funny. But
so
what are your recommendations?
So the two I have are Grand Blue Fantasy, which just started its second season. Its first season is out on Netflix, and the other show is Love, Shinobu, and Other Delusions is on Netflix. At least for me in Canada.
I don't know if it's on Netflix. I know that Love, Shinobu, and Other Things is on Crunchyroll, and I know Grand Blue is as well.
Yes, Grand Blue is as well. So those are both really good shows. Like they've got Hunter x Hunter there now. Seven Deadly Sins is also a great one on.
Seven Deadly Sins is a good time. The show Netflix that I've been seeing memes about that I just want to rewatch for the sake of it is Devil is a Part-Timer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch that, Dale?
No, I've never seen that. I mean, I would be into watch some stupid goofy show. Like I'm in.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's the one where like the devil gets a part-time job because he comes to heaven or comes to Earth, and he's like, I just want to, yeah.
Yeah. So he basically the plot of the show is the devil is he's fighting in his fantasy world, and this great hero comes to defeat him, and she starts kicking his fucking ass, and he's like, all right, peace, bitches, and gets kicked out of his own dimension. But he ends up in our dimension with no home, no money, and no idea what to do. So he gets a part-time job at McDonald's.
It is called McDonald's.
Yes. Is that kind of like a Burger King spoof?
Actually, it's a Carl's Jr. spoof.
Oh, okay. All right. I could see how those two would be confused.
I hate both of us for making that joke.
but at the same time, you love us. So that's good.
So it's a really funny show, and it's really stupid. And then like later on, different demons show up, and they all have weird interactions. And like the warrior who was kicking his ass, she shows up, and she gets a job at a call center. And so they're both working minimum wage jobs while like trying. And like she's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. He's like, I don't give a shit. Listen, I just want to work my part-time job and live.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's a fun and interesting show, and I think it's something that you would really like, Dan.
Okay.
I would say that if we're gonna look for goofy, I would say Love, Shinobu, and Other Delusions is probably even goofier.
I haven't watched that. I need to watch it though. So I definitely.
It is an extremely good show. This is one of my favorite animes.
Okay. Almost Rika for Anime Girl.
Yes. So the quick synopsis that is on Netflix reads: high schooler Yuta wants to leave his past as a delusional weirdo behind, but his classmate Rika has her own delusions and she's interested in his. It's a very funny show because our main character...
It's a cute slice of life show.
Yes. Our main character, Yuta, basically used to be something of a weirdo who had like fantasy stuff he would act out, and then he got over it. He's like, okay, I'm done with this. I don't want to be the weird kid anymore. And then he meets Rika, who's going through the same thing that he was of being the weird kid, and she comes across some of his old journals that he'd thrown out, like that he thought he'd thrown out, and that's where things get strange.
Gotcha.
Are you saying that there are stranger things going on?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for season 4 for Stranger Things.
I still haven't watched season 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm really bad at it.
It's good.
I'm really bad at keeping up with shows because I'll be like I'll have like so many shows I need to watch, and then I'll just watch something else instead. Like I'll rewatch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the 18th time, or like right now I've decided to start watching One Piece, which was a terrible decision.
I find this weird thing where I'm just like, I can't find a show because I'm like, I can't commit to stuff because it's like I don't fucking have time to watch some TV shows. So I'm just like, I just watch nothing.
I would say at least for Stranger Things, Comfy, season 3 is better than season 2.
That's what I've heard. Like
season 3 is very interesting. It also introduces one of the best characters on the show.
Okay. Icy dude. Yeah. The dude with the ices and shit.
For season 3 of Stranger Things.
I know who you're talking about.
It's the character they introduce is a new female character, and she is by far one of the most interesting characters and fun characters of the show.
The chick at the ice cream shop?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Who is also like the kid of like 2 super famous people.
Oh. Yeah, it's on my list, but it's one of those things like I gotta watch through season 2 before I do that. And man, season 2 so far has not been entertaining to me.
Season 2 is a bit of a drag.
Yeah,
I'm only on like episode 2, and like I got through the first episode, I was like, this doesn't really.
Yeah, season 2 is a bit of a drag.
I kind of forgot about season 2.
It doesn't help that I wasn't like super fan of season 1. I thought it was good, but I wasn't like all over it like everybody else was.
Yeah.
You know.
See, for me, because I am older, a lot of this, like the 80s stuff, like the retro stuff they do and bring up, are
nostalgic.
It hits nostalgic notes for me because I lived through the 80s. Like it was a thing for me. Like I was that age growing up. Like I was a kid in the 80s. So
and
seeing that stuff again is cool.
But it's not what my childhood was. So I don't get the same feel from it.
Same.
No, you had Street Sharks and stuff like that.
Dude, okay. I was actually I was looking at some stuff earlier today. It was like old Gen X, mid Gen X, young Gen X, old Gen Y, mid Gen Y, young Gen Y, and then it's like old Gen Z, mid Gen Z, young Gen Z. I fit into none of them. Like it was like one of those like charts that's like, hey, this is what you grew up with, and I was like, I didn't. And it was like, all right, if you were like old Gen Z, you grew up with Bakugan. I was like, what the fuck's a Bakugan?
Like, you are.
Isn't that?
How old are you, Comfy?
I'm born in 97.
Okay, so
depending on what chart you look at, I'm either the youngest year of millennial or in the first 3 years of Gen Z.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it's either you're at the very tail end of being a millennial or a Gen Z. I am very much a millennial.
Yes, yeah, you're a millennial. I had a great conversation with I forget who it was, but so my dad likes to be up on memes and stuff. And my mom
I heard this story.
Yeah, my mom is 1 year older than him. My mom is technically a baby boomer. So I can't wait to go home and hear my dad say "okay, boomer" to his wife like 80 times.
Please record this.
Rose, oh no.
I will 100% record this. This is the guy who for Halloween went as a Hong Kong protester with like an umbrella and an eye patch and a gas mask.
Oh God.
So it'll definitely be an interesting time, if nothing else.
He should have wore a Blizzard scarf.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I could have taken some of my brother's like Blizzard gear. My brother has like the Horde bomber jacket and stuff because he plays WoW. That was a gift from one of his girlfriends at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like, he has that. He could have taken it.
That's funny.
That would have been great. Also, speaking of Blizzard, Jeff Kaplan is in the news telling Blizzard that he wants them to remove all the Hearthstone bans.
Yeah,
Jeff's too big to fail Kaplan.
It's not like they're gonna fire him.
They can't. The dude is walking charisma.
That's the thing.
I was watching some videos of him earlier. He's the best.
And here's the thing: he's not even like a community manager. He's like the head of that.
He's the VP of Blizzard. I'm pretty sure.
Like he's the head of the Overwatch division. So it's like you can't get rid of him. Like he's the driving force behind this super successful thing. You kind of need to go well.
He's also the face of it, and he is, man. I was on stream like yesterday. I was going back and reading some of his old forum posts on EverQuest. Man.
Okay.
Do you know about Jeff sheer fisting of an encounter Kaplan? Basically, he posted on the EverQuest forums a very not fun message to the devs telling them that they suck at making encounters in EverQuest. The first line of it is, whoever designed this sheer fisting of an encounter can go fuck themselves. And it is just, God, I love Jeff Kaplan so much.
Watching him during the presentation at the recent BlizzCon was hilarious because he was so salty and like snarky. You could tell he was not happy about the leaks because he's like, "What are you trying to do? Ruin the shit I have to do up here? What the fuck?"
Yeah, he's like, well, as I'm sure all of you already know.
Oh, he was.
No thanks
he was
to somebody.
He was being a very spicy Jeff that day.
Nice.
I love Spicy Jeff. Spicy Jeff is the best. I was also watching back in the days of when I played Overwatch, there was a guy in the community named Dino Flask who would cut together Jeff Kaplan in he would cut together all of his dev updates to make Jeff say weird shit in his own dev updates. And I was watching one about the PTR and about how the Blizzard devs just make a coin toss on what heroes they want to ruin. And when a dev has something that they want to add to the PTR, they have to wrestle other developers. And whoever wins the wrestling match is
that's good.
they get to put in their update. And
I want to play more Overwatch. Actually, I like that game.
Same. I was thinking about getting back into it because like I've been missing it recently. Like that was one of the games that I first started streaming back when I was on Twitch. Like I played it almost religiously.
I need to hit rank 25 on PC though, because I'm not ranked 25 on PC yet.
I haven't played Overwatch in a long time.
Because I haven't played a lot of it on PC, and yeah, that way when the new season
Overwatch
comes out, when the new competitive season comes out, because a lot of people don't like playing just free play.
Yeah,
you have to be ranked 25 to play in it.
I really like. I've said it a million times, and I'll continue to say it. If they just made off-season competitive like a playable game mode at all times, I'd play it.
Plus, they have instituted some changes I haven't had a chance to play with, such as the role now. Like you pick a role.
Role queue is really nice.
Yeah. So the problem there being is that I love playing Brigitte, and I don't like any of the other healers.
I like Lucio.
The issue, Bree is like really good at Overwatch. She's like fucking masters. But she plays healer and support.
Yeah.
But she also likes playing Symmetra, who is now designated as DPS.
Yes, Symmetra
so
is
she
a DPS,
doesn't like role queue because she can't like swap to Symmetra depending on the map.
Yeah, and if I'm playing, like if I want to play Brigitte, I'm taking up a healer slot and I'm not going to change off her because I can't play the other healers.
Exactly. So you need to like dual queue with healers.
Though I have not tried the new healer guy yet.
Who?
Oh, every time I hear about Overwatch, there's new characters. Baptiste. I'm just like, I don't know any about.
Baptiste. That's his name.
I
haven't tried Baptiste.
There's so many new characters that I just don't know super well. Like it's really hard to play. I have played a bit with Sigma. He's very fun.
And I haven't tried Sigma either, and I'm curious about trying him. So
Sigma's fun, but he's really weird.
He's a very strange off tank.
He also has his toes out.
Yes, he has bare feet, and he doesn't have footsteps. So
yeah, because he floats around. Toes, you say? Oh my god, dude, they look so suckable. Keep that in. Don't edit that out.
I haven't been editing a whole lot.
I want to get back to that, which is going to be hard because
on my list, and I know some people like Jim wants to play.
Yeah, there's 2 games coming out this week I want to play, and I know companies are interested in one of them. But Pokemon and Jedi Fallen Order both come out this week on the same day. Like,
can I say my piece about Pokemon? Can I say my Pokemon rant?
You've ranted a lot about because there's not quite every single 1,000 Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I don't care. I don't want to play with the old Pokemon anyways. I want to play with all the new ones. So that's the only thing I care about.
So have you been a huge? Have you played all the Pokemon games?
They want people to try out the new Pokemon. That's what they're doing. So
and you know what? To that point, I say do exactly what they did in Black and White and On, which was the only Pokemon in the game until you beat the Elite Four and the Champion are are new gen Pokemon. There are no old gen Pokemon at that point. Even in Sun and Moon, the only Pokemon that you could get were new region Pokemon or Alola versions of old Pokemon, which was amazing. And then once you complete it, then National Dex Pokemon spawn on the map, and you can bring in Pokemon from older games.
Yeah. Now,
there's no reason for them to not do that, considering they quote unquote future proofed all the Pokemon in Sun and Moon.
Yeah, so they could just add them in as like free DLC, like just add them in later, which is fine if they do end up doing that too. So, which I can't see them not doing, because apparently the Wild Safari area is goddamn massive. Like three zones? Like, so for people who play Breath of the Wild, you know how big the zones are in that.
Yeah.
The wild area of Sword and Shield apparently is 3 of those zones together.
If
that's how big it is.
If the game turns out good enough, I will eventually get it. I love Pokemon. I have played every single Pokemon, except Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because I just couldn't afford them, but I did do Sun and Moon.
See, I am going to be playing Pokemon on Friday, but as someone who hasn't played a Pokemon game since like Ruby,
this will be an experience for you.
I'm gonna be like, my old man brain is just gonna be like hashtag not my Pokemon and hate it.
Listen, I hate people who are like, Pokemon's running out of designs, because listen, did you look at the original designs for Pokemon? 1 second, I'm gonna pull.
No. I'm not talking about like the Pokemon themselves. I'm talking like there's gonna be so many like new features that I'm like, why is this in the game?
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a crap ton of new features. You're not.
Yeah,
used to
like I remember playing one.
This was in like the last 2 generations or the last 4 generations. Dale's gonna be like,
there's a lot of really good quality of life things that were brought in.
But I remember when they introduced was it Ruby, where they introduced like the Pokemon like contests or stuff? Like it was like basically
like there's gonna be Pokemon contests. There's breeding. They added.
Well, breeding was in for a long time. Breeding has been in
too.
No, breeding was in since
2, but they've tweaked it, Dale, since you've played.
Oh yeah, they've tweaked it a lot. There are people that get really into breeding Pokemon.
So you don't just throw a Ditto there to live forever? Is that?
Yeah,
correct.
No, like they get Pokemon with. They get a specific egg type. They get a specific stat roll on this Pokemon. They need to get them to breed at this time of day, hatch at this time of night, and that way it gets the perfect roll and the perfect characteristics.
Yeah, they have to make sure they have the right characteristics. And Sword and Shield, you can change your characters or your Pokemon's characteristics now by feeding them certain things.
That like I was never into that. Like that's a level too deep for me. I do get really into Pokemon. I don't get that into Pokemon.
Yeah, there's a lot you can go. Like,
yeah, I will probably like play through it and then maybe fuck around at like whatever kind of end game Pokemon has, and I'll just be like, okay, I'm over it.
And also, Copper, really quick, to your point of they want you to play with new Pokemon, why did they make a new form of Charizard?
Because they can.
Listen,
there's a new, was it Ponyta that's a goddamn unicorn, okay?
Rapidash, hello?
Or Rapidash, whatever.
Rapidash is a fucking unicorn. What do you mean?
No, this one is like a rainbow unicorn.
Rapidash has a unicorn horn.
But it doesn't look like an actual like unicorn.
A unicorn's a horse with a horn on its head. What do you mean? That's it's a unicorn.
Trust me, it's worse now.
But hey, speaking of being mad at game devs, what other game is coming out this week?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yay! Respawn, the last good EA game, the last good EA studio.
So far.
That comes out Friday as well.
Does it come out on Friday? I thought it was on Tuesday.
It does come out on Friday.
It's Friday. Some people have early access for Thursday, I believe, as well, though.
Okay.
So I will not be watching certain things on Thursday just because I don't want any spoilers, because this is 100% a story game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to hang out on a stream and not watch Jedi Fallen Order's spoilers, come. Or yeah, that too. There you go. You're a dick. You're a dick.
Yeah. Some of
what are you gonna be? You're gonna do what?
From my childhood were all of the Star Wars like Jedi games, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. I played all the Battlefront games and stuff. I played a lot of Star Wars games.
I did too.
I'm not. I think this one is you're not gonna have a choice but to be good in this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Makes me kind of sad because
I would like
have realized from
dark side thing.
You may have realized from my playthroughs of things like Outer Worlds, where I literally murder every single person I come across.
We know.
I like being evil, so
Hopper's a psychopath.
Yep. See, I prefer, it might be an unpopular opinion, I prefer games to not give me like choices on how to change a story. Just spoon feed me a story. Because usually, minus there are exceptions to the rule, when it's just like one story, the story seems to be just better, in my opinion. Not always.
Usually it's a little more coherent and better.
Yes.
But the thing is, some of the Star Wars games are those exceptions, right? Like they took the time to craft both
Right.
ends of the story
Yes.
perfectly well. So,
Or
Jedi
like the
Knight.
Mass Effect series, I believe, did a very good
yes,
job. I've never
Mass
played
Effect
Mass
did it as
Effect.
well,
But like
pretty
you look
well.
at Fallout New Vegas and like the different endings, and I was just like, I don't give a fuck. Or like Fallout
Fallout
4,
New
where
Vegas
it's
is
like,
the best Fallout. Changed my mind.
but like,
Outer Worlds is the best Fallout. What are you talking about?
Oof.
Oof. Dude, straight up. So when I went to the Microsoft store to get my controller, I was talking to the guys like, so you can play Call of Duty? I was like, I don't know, I'll play whatever's on PC. And he's like, man, have you played Outer Worlds yet? I was like, nah, I played a bit, but I need to get into it. He's like, oh, that's very New Vegas. I love it. It's the best Fallout.
Yeah, it is. It's the best Fallout game.
Yeah.
That's
It's
like,
a
I
Fallout-
love it so much.
It's a Fallout game with all the stuff from a normal Fallout, like the crafting, all that kind of stuff.
Minus
the different
Bethesda, the
consumables,
garbage part.
Great story, great branching things for characters, great dialogue. The combat's better than what Bethesda can do, and there's no bugs in this one because it's not fucking Bethesda, so they don't have the same
their own
bugs they've had
engine
for the
for
last
it
like
and stuff.
15 years.
Yep.
Like,
Bugs like not non-private servers and accidentally banning the people who are
non-private private
finding
servers that you
glitches.
pay for. Yeah, non-private private servers you pay for, with no way to stop people from joining.
This doesn't need to be the shit on 76 cast
I know.
again. God damn.
But did you hear what happened this week though?
Oh
Did they do
no.
something else
Is there
wrong?
more? I
So
stopped
there's
paying attention at all.
There's a group of people who've been playing Fallout 76 that have been they built like third party tools and like maps and stuff for people. Very high quality, super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been hunting bugs to find to Bethesda. And they literally these are like the people you want playing your game. They find the bugs, they report them.
Mm-hmm.
And they send you like videos of how they do it. Dude had 6 accounts that he played on because he played it so much. Like he had alts.
That's
They
a
weren't
lot.
even like cheating or anything. He was just trying to like find bugs and stuff. He sent bugs to Bethesda, and Bethesda banned all of his accounts because he used a glitch that he literally found and sent them proof of and said, hey, this is something you guys need to fix. And then like he shut down all of his third-party tools and was like, Bethesda fucked up and they won't respond, so I'm just shutting down all the third-party tools that are helping keeping their game alive.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's right on par with the YouTube news. Did you guys hear about that?
Markiplier.
The Markiplier news. So, for
Yeah.
those who haven't, so I don't think Dale did. Markiplier is
I
a
never
big,
pay attention to stuff.
yeah, he's a big YouTuber. To
He's
say the least.
awesome. He's like one of the best YouTubers still around.
Cool.
Yeah, he makes really great content. Does a crap ton for charity. So he was playing through a game live on YouTube Gaming,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a game with choices, right? Like, and he was letting chat choose which options he would pick by either putting a
A red
red
paddle or a green paddle.
or a green paddle in chat. Quick, easy way to do it. So what ended up happening is that YouTube saw people using, the same emote a bunch of times, and they started banning hundreds of accounts. Here's
What do
the
you
thing.
mean they banned accounts? Are you saying
So-
just their YouTube accounts were banned?
No, what
That's
YouTube did was, because it's Google, they banned their whole Google accounts. So if you had, a Gmail for work that had, say, all of your work emails in it, or billing information or things like that, they banned your account, and your emails and stuff are now gone because it was a permaban. On top of that, people then, especially those who had business reasons to do so, immediately applied for an appeal. Those appeals were disregarded and denied.
Oh my god.
Markiplier then made a video about this to bring attention to YouTube because they weren't responding to anybody about it. Due to that pressure, because he has millions of followers, And
I
this
think
video
he's in
got
like
a
the
crap
top.
ton of views.
Where is he in like the
Um,
YouTube?
One of the top ones within the top 10, I would say.
My God.
I don't think he's in
so
top 10 anymore. I'm looking this up right now.
yeah, he might not be. He's definitely top 50 though, I'd say.
Oh, 100%.
So they responded to Markiplier, said, "Oh, we're so sorry about the situation. We've now started unbanning the people who've been banned, and the people who were banned and went and were denied an appeal. We'll look at a process for unbanning them. So the people with the most reason to get appealed and get unbanned, the people with business stuff account that was attached to their Google account, are still banned."
Markiplier is in the top 100. He's at 81st.
Huh. I think he's probably been overtaken by a lot of beauty YouTubers and stuff like that.
A lot of beauty YouTubers, a lot of like movie clips, a lot of music channels, mostly
And
music channels.
probably some kids show ones too, because like Ryan's Toys or whatever it is probably up there. Yeah, so they banned hundreds of people from his community, like permaban from whole Google accounts. And the people who went and appealed it immediately are still banned and have to go through some sort of review process that they still need to look at making.
Because
YouTube, because they spammed an emote that he asked them to spam during a live thing for voting on something up to 10 times only. They put this emote in chat 10 times, had their whole account banned. Like,
yep.
What are you doing?
It's
like
YouTube,
and this is such a bad thing, because YouTube has now started, the other YouTube news is doing what Mixer has been doing and purchasing exclusive rights to certain streamers. Like, for example, they just picked up Courage.
Great guy. Love him.
So, and then they turn around and do this. It's like, oh, this is going to be bad, because do you not know how streams work? People spam emotes all the time, and if they spam a simple block of 10 emotes, they're permabanned from from Google. Like, are you insane?
Yeah, no, like it's moronic. YouTube has been doing the dumbest moves possible for the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
YouTube is where I used to get almost 90% of my content. Just like watching stuff, consuming it. I've watched a lot of Rooster Teeth content. We'll talk about that later. Game Grumps. Watched a lot of Markiplier because he's a great guy and he's really fun.
Yeah, I used to watch just a metric fuck ton of Rooster Teeth stuff. Like, I still love their GTA Let's Plays.
I want to talk about
something
they did this weekend.
My issue with Rooster Teeth is that the people I used to watch Rooster Teeth stuff for all left Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, no, that's there's a lot of that, and like even then, like Rooster Teeth has like acquired a bunch of channels that I like Funhouse, Cow Chop, but people are leaving those channels, and they have to, because like Cow Chop, for example, is dealing with the constant demonetization and is losing all of its employees because they can't keep up.
Wait. They acquired Funhouse?
Yeah, while they made Funhouse better.
Well, no, because the guys who made Funhouse left Rooster Teeth and that to make Funhouse. So I was just like, if they bought Funhouse,
they left Inside Gaming.
Yeah, they left Inside. Well, some of them worked other places too.
They left Inside Gaming and with Rooster Teeth created Funhouse.
So it would be Machinima. That's who they left. Yes,
thank you. That's the one that we're thinking of. They left Machinima and partnered with Rooster Teeth to make Funhouse.
Everybody should have left Machinima, really.
Yeah, pretty much everybody did. Did you not hear?
For good reason.
Machinima kind of fucked over a lot of its creators. That was the same thing with Cow Chop. All of their guys were working with Machinima, and they all left. Come over.
Machinima is not a good place to be.
No, they literally had a gold mine and just fucked all their creators.
Yep.
It's really impressive when you can do that. So yeah, that's it. YouTube has been making a lot of bad moves.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be starting to, right the ship, as it were, because, they're like, okay, we need to be serious about this live streaming thing. Let's sign some contracts with people like Courage, and, we'll go from there. There's rumors that other people who are, it's the interesting thing of the people who've been signing contracts, aside from Goth, are all represented by this one talent. Because it's Ninja and Shroud, who both moved over to Mixer, are with the same talent agency that Courage is, And according to an insider, pretty much everybody at that agency that they represent who is a streamer is in talks or has already signed exclusive contracts with Twitch, Mixer, or YouTube.
Which, I mean, why wouldn't you? So I like Twitch.
Well,
I feel like I need to preface this because
the interesting thing, Comfy, is that the two other names they mentioned are like who are doing this were Lyric and Tim the Tatman.
Yeah.
So they might be moving. Like that would be a very interesting thing to see. Especially, I love Tim to come over here for sure.
I know you're a big Tim the Tatman guy.
I am. I love Tim.
A lot of people do. He's a really good guy.
He's the exact type of personality who has a super loyal audience that obviously would probably follow him or anywhere he went. He's also has the type of branding you want. He's not completely like quote family friendly. Like he's not like he doesn't. It's not like he doesn't swear or stuff like that. But he's very much PG-13 and of such that you can help push him and build a brand, like use your branding around him for Xbox where it's not going to offend parents. Right?
Yeah, same thing with like Ninja. That's why they want him, just for branding.
Yeah. In stark contrast to say Doc,
who's not going to get signed anywhere, I can almost guarantee.
Even Twitch doesn't need to offer Doc a fucking exclusive contract, because why would they? He's not going to go anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah, and honestly, like remember when he was the face of Twitch and then threw it all away by making bad life choices? Never forget.
Awful life choice. Multiple awful life choices. It's not like it's like, oh, I've made one, I've screwed up, I'll do better. It's like, I made one, and here's a worse one. Oh yeah, and here's even worse one. It's like,
I really liked Doc too. Like he made such good content. Like it was very unique, like such a character. And then just like now I can't like it. Like it's an entire thing.
I've never liked his whole shtick that he does. Like it's just very too juvenile for me.
It is a little bit for me as well.
And then he, started, going through like, oh, I've cheated on my wife. Wow, you're just kind of a scumbag.
That was the line for me. I was like, really?
It's like,
wow. All right.
And you're like not really apologetic about it. Like you're more upset that you got caught. It's like,
And I don't want to shit on people forever, but hey, so let's just because it looks not good.
So it's like he's not going anywhere, but someone like Lyric or Tim, those are flagship people, right? Like I'm curious to see what happens.
Twitch as a platform, like there's a lot of creators I really, really like on Twitch that I don't think are going to go anywhere. So I'll still use Twitch, but man, I feel like it is impossible to go a week without hearing something bad happening on Twitch. Or like the global mods misusing their power or picking extreme favoritism or something. Like it's just exhausting.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Zod, I would love Dan. If Dan came,
things like that happen, you can have like 2,000 global mods. One does a bad thing, and it's the bad person you hear about, right? It's the bad apple that spoils the bunch.
Exactly.
It gets harder and harder to manage the bigger you are.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, Twitch never really put systems into place to deal with stuff like that to begin with.
Absolutely. They didn't really do anything to set in place like how to deal with misuses of power and stuff. People seem to be doing it constantly with no repercussions. The TOS seems to be pick and choose who they ban. People who are under a certain follow account get banned on a whim, and people who are over a certain follow account can break TOS blatantly and have nothing happen to them. There seems to be no accountability.
Yeah, and as much as we just talked about the guy, I don't want to drag him through the mud more, but Doc is a great example of that. He literally filmed people in a public bathroom,
breaking California law and federal law.
Yeah, those are both. That's a federal crime. That's a.
Did that just happen today?
No, that was
no. That's
no. I'm sorry. Zod has made it aware that apparently Dan's Gaming has a 3-month probation.
Yes, he's yesterday, on 3-month probation
because of an emo. Dan
check his Twitter. Yeah. For sexual, he had an emote removed for quote sexual content. It is a cartoon character who is sitting on a toilet, and it is a deformed character, nowhere near what anyone would call sexual content, and that's what happened. He got the emote removed and is on probation.
3-month
the
probation.
Dumbest thing. Like if you look
Dan's
at the emote,
game, guys.
so stupid.
If Mixer, or if he came to Mixer, I would be very happy because I love Dan. Although everybody would be like, "Now you just want to look like Dan," but you know,
what? Because you're bald.
Because I'm bald and he doesn't have a goatee. Does he still have a goatee? Yeah, he has a goatee. So
he had one at one point.
Oh, is he mustache?
I'm sure
now?
he still does.
Okay.
I know he still has facial hair, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, still got a goatee. But anyway, yeah, like people would be like, "You're just trying to rip off Dan."
Well, I mean, listen, I went to play D&D with my friends who I haven't seen in months, and they were like, "Wow, hey Ninja."
Yeah.
Because my hair was still blue. I left my conditioner at Bree's place though, so now my hair is like slowly turning gray, kind of like my soul.
I like my hair then.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big fucking God.
No, see, Copper, you have like tints of silver. That's different. I have like
mine didn't actually go gray. My quote gray hair that I've been getting is all actual silver.
It looks really nice actually. Like no meme. Copper is salt and pepper. Not gonna lie, yeah, pretty accurate.
Okay, but yeah,
I would never know though. Yeah,
I mean,
but now that we've ripped on all of that stuff, hey, you want to talk about something positive that happened this weekend?
Yes, please.
All right, so
plus, well, the other thing to mention is that Disney Plus launches this week.
It does on Tuesday,
which means
right?
The Mandalorian comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah, but they're doing like a weekly update for that, aren't they? A weekly drop.
It is. It's not a binge show. It's the first episode.
I'm gonna wait until it is a bingeable show, and then I'm gonna buy a month of it and watch it.
I'm absolutely watching it week to week.
I'm getting Disney Plus as soon as it comes out because there's enough stuff that they're putting on there aside from the new shows that I'm gonna sit down and binge. Things like Gargoyles and Tailspin, stuff like that. Like a lot of nostalgic cartoons for me, I can throw on while working, which would be great.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars is going to be on there as well.
Yeah,
that's a really good like binge show.
Plus, they've got access to all the Fox stuff because they now own Fox, so we might get things like The Simpsons on there.
Like,
we don't have that confirmed.
Yeah, might.
Like, you think
it would be a good place for it though?
We might get
Futurama there. I would love that.
Oh God, I love Futurama.
Or Bob's Burgers. Oh,
Kaylee loves Bob's Burgers. She loves the girl in the helmet, in the hat.
Louise.
Yes, she fucking loves
the rabbit ears. Yeah.
Listen, Louise is amazing, but man, there are other
Simpsons at launch.
Nice series at launch. That's pretty good.
Cool.
There are other characters in that show that just kind of ruin it for me, though. Like I love Bob's Burgers, but there are just some characters that really don't make it for me.
Like I'm not a fan of like Jean. Like I love Louise. I love was it Tina?
Tina's really hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
Like I love her sometimes, and then other times I'm like, what the hell? Like that episode where there was a bunch of them drinking margarita mix. I think that's hilarious. And they're like, come on, are you gonna drink the margarita?
Like all the songs they do in that show are great.
I also love H. John Benjamin as Bob because I watch Archer and all I can think of is him as Archer.
I love that shit. Yeah.
Also, the gag in Archer where he was Bob from Bob's Burgers is easily one of the greatest gags.
That's
in TV.
very good. I love Archer. I should probably start watching the latest Archer stuff.
It's something.
Yeah. Okay.
Latest Archer, they've completely gone away from Archer as a whole, and now it's just the characters shifted into different like time eras and stuff, telling different stories. So it's like an 8-episode season where all of those characters, it's the same exact character traits, but they're just different.
Okay, so it's not following the actual like the storyline anymore.
Ever since season 7, I think.
I don't remember the last time. I don't remember the last time I saw it. I think it was the one where they were flying cocaine.
That was season 5 Archer Vice. So because they did the first 4 seasons, which were great as the spy meme, but they can't really have an agency called ISIS anymore. So they had to get rid of that. And the way to do that was to make them outlaws. And then they ran that ship. They ran out of that, and then they're like, well, what do we do now? I guess we just make random different episodes of random different seasons of shows. So like,
gotcha.
It's weird. I don't really have a good way to explain it. You can look at it and make your own decisions. It was fun, but it wasn't Archer.
Right. Gotcha.
So fifth segue. So good things that happened this weekend. So last weekend was Extra Life globally.
Yes.
Which means that this weekend, Rooster Teeth did their 24-hour Extra Life live stream to raise money for Dell Children's Hospital.
Now, Extra Life is another. It is a charity event.
Charity event.
Charity for kids. Yeah.
Yes, it is very similar to what Guardian Con does.
I love seeing like just video game communities that do shit like that, because you see so many people that are just like, video games are the worst. It's like, fuck you. Look at how many monies we're raising for kiddos for like. Yep. Is Extra Life also cancer research, or is that something different? I'm actually not sure.
It depends. So Extra Life is unique in the sense that you can sign up for Extra Life and your money will go through them, but you can choose where to designate it to. It is children's hospitals. So for example, Rooster Teeth made a healing garden a couple years ago at Dell Children's Hospital in Austin, which they have there to help people who are healing. They donate new supplies and stuff to help with scans and training. So that's also super cool. Over the last 24 hours, it ended this morning at like 8 a.m. Central Time. They raised $1.2 million over the course of 24 hours. Is very good. That's a lot of money if you don't know. And people got very drunk and it was very funny. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it because I was dealing with some other things, but it's always something that I try to tune into every year, and they do a lot of really good work. So that is after all of the garbage that happened, Rip Gavin, they like waterboarded him with a jug of milk.
What?
They called it milk boarding.
Oh my god.
It definitely happened.
Okay.
They also shot like rubber balls at them that were covered in like UV paint and then covered them under black lights, which was really interesting.
Okay.
So it's definitely interesting. It's a 24-hour stream for sure. It gets really crazy at around 2 a.m. But yeah. I just wanted to bring that up because that's after talking about how YouTube is garbage, we can talk about how at least YouTube creators aren't.
Yes, there are a lot of actually good people who create content on YouTube.
Well, I mean, you typically seem to get some of the more negative aspects, and you look at like how, you know, corporations are like, they put on things and they look at it with the corporation goggles and not like anything beyond that. It's like, we want to make money. Which is one of the reasons I'm really glad Microsoft has kind of given Mixer free reign. Yeah. Because I can tell you right now, Amazon's made a lot of moves in the Twitchosphere, and Mixer has not had as much intervention from Microsoft.
Yeah, Amazon's put a lot of, you need to do this way because we say so. They're like, it's not going to work. They're like, we don't care. It's going to make us more money.
Microsoft took a big dip when they released Windows 8, and they have been on the steady climb back up since then, and has been a company that I am proud to support and be a part of.
Yeah, Windows 8 was not a good product.
Windows 8 was nobody.
But was it better than Vista?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember Windows Vista being a meme, and then 7 was 7 terrible too. I don't recall.
7 was good.
7 was good.
Really good.
7 was the answer to Vista when Vista was really bad.
Gotcha.
And then they put out 8, and 8 was a garbage can.
So 8 was built for touchscreen computers. If you're gonna tell me that it wasn't, you're lying because Microsoft has said it was built for touchscreen computers.
Yes. ME.
Who remembers Windows Me? Nobody actually. I forget what it was. I did a like.
Yeah, ME was a nightmare. They finally got rid of Explorer 2, which is great.
Yeah. Edge is actually not bad, especially if you're trying to watch Mixer. Like, no meme.
No, Edge is actually decent. So is Firefox. The one that's going to give the most problem watching something like Mixer nowadays is actually Chrome.
Yes. Now, I use Chrome because I'm a creature of habit. I fully like acknowledge that Firefox would be better for me if I were to use it.
I need to like
Firefox on occasion.
I need to use one that's going to use my CPU like 800% less. That'd be great.
Firefox.
Yeah. That's one of the main problems with Chrome is that it's a system hog beyond reason. Like, there's no reason for it to require as much system as it does.
Maybe I'll change over.
It's
like
just
it's
not,
been a meme forever. Yeah, use Opera.
not optimized well. You can use Safari. Like, that is the thing you can use on PC.
Yeah, honestly, like if you're just using it for like Mixer and stuff, like while you're streaming, Windows Edge is not bad.
Like, I have Safari on my system. I have, Edge, Chrome, Safari, and that on here because if I code something, I have to make sure it works across all of them.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the reasons I use Firefox.
It's also one of the reasons I hated Explorer so much, because anything you coded for Explorer wouldn't work anywhere else.
That was when I learned how to code, big quotes around code because it was just like HTML and CSS. Like we were told, like, use Firefox because Firefox is open source and bare bones, so anything that works on Firefox is gonna work fucking everywhere.
Except Explorer.
Yeah, we don't talk about Explorer though.
Well, there's the thing though, with the problem with coding in Explorer, like for HTML and stuff like that, is that you have to make sure it works in Explorer because it's the most used one, right? It was the most used one, so you had to make sure it worked. Because I know, like, a lot of people in North America are like, "Oh, I use Chrome, or I use Firefox." Great. The majority of the world, and population-wise, who might look at your stuff, is Explorer still.
Yeah, well, it's also, you need to think, like, we are very, very technologically advanced as, like, the West.
Yeah.
Places that aren't as technologically advanced, or like don't have as much access to, like, I'm constantly using the computer every single day, they're just going to use what's on the computer. And believe it or not.
And most places nowadays are probably on, Windows 7 still.
Yeah, no, like I know when I was in like China, they were using Windows 98.
Yeah.
On all of their computers.
People don't upgrade. Like, a lot of businesses are on old hardware because not every business upgrades its hardware every day. Like every couple of years, like
excuse me, that software. God.
No, it's hardware.
No, he's talking hardware.
They literally don't upgrade.
We're talking about like the
themselves.
Windows programs.
So yeah, well, that's the thing though. Like a computer that's 12 years old isn't going to run.
It's not going to run the new shit. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they don't upgrade hardware, which means they don't upgrade the software. So it's like, great. Like, I've worked for big businesses, and that's a thing. Like, they might upgrade the computers every 4 or 5 years, but that's it.
They don't want to either.
And that's if you're a person who requires your computer to be updated. Like, if you don't, if you're just some, minor cog who does paperwork stuff, your computer is never getting upgraded until they do the whole office.
Yeah, like, because let's be real, like, why would they? You don't need it.
There's no point. You don't
I work a government job.
Woo.
Man, let me tell you about those computers.
They're probably the best. What do you mean?
They are not good. They only updated to Windows 10 like last year. The internet that they use is so ridiculously broken. It's constantly down. They needed to get their own software installed. They need their own software written and installed on it. And the software, has been in beta for a year and a half, and they haven't fixed basic issues that myself and other people with a basic understanding of coding have been able to point out and be like, this is the issue, this is what's going wrong.
Uh-oh.
I've been able to literally tell them, this is the issue, it's stuck in a loop, and this is what's going on, and this is how I'm pretty sure it's coded, and that's why it's not working. And they were like, oh, we'll check into it. And then like a year later, it's still having the issues. Like, yeah, well, we looked into it, and then they say exactly what I said. I was like, yeah, and we don't know how to fix it. I was like, fucking rewrite it.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
A lot of software issues are usually an issue because of just a simple typo. That's it.
Oh yeah, no, listen, did I ever tell you the reason that I like swore off of coding?
Oh, what was the game? The Aliens Marine versus like Marine.
Oh yeah, Aliens Colonial Marines.
That's a mistake.
So yeah. It turns out the reason the AI was so broken in that game is that someone made a typo in the code, a single typo.
Yeah.
Because someone went back through and fixed the typo and then ran the game to see what happened, and they actually worked like they were supposed to, like in the demos that they showed, where people like, it's not like this, that's pre-recorded. Nope, turns out it wasn't. It was just someone made a typo and never fixed it, and it broke the game.
It's impressive. My issue with coding was I was doing HTML for a website. I had a final project, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this. Why is it not working? And like I had to have one like animated thing in it, and it wasn't working. Okay, why isn't this working? I checked the HTML, nothing was wrong. Check the CSS, nothing was wrong. Talk to the teacher. Can you read over my code and tell me what's not working? Doesn't work. I asked my friend who does coding for a living. He looked over it and couldn't figure it out. I spent weeks, multiple weeks, with a done project that just wasn't working, that it was showing up on my local system, but it wasn't working when I uploaded it to the server. Would anybody like to guess what it was?
I have zero idea.
I didn't capitalize a letter.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know how to code anything except cheat codes in Grand Theft Auto, so I never die. That's it.
I literally didn't capitalize one letter, and that broke the entire game. I was so mad.
Well, now you'll be able to do that for Red Dead Redemption 2 that's online.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is on PC now.
So you can play around as a cowboy.
I probably won't touch it. I don't know. Maybe eventually.
It's cheaper.
It looks like a game that I would play with friends and just probably not by myself.
I've heard a lot. See, I loved Red Dead Redemption 2 story. It was my game of the year, 100%. Very close run with God of War, but I actually really liked the story of Red Dead more. Sorry to everybody who I just angered. I just loved it. But I didn't. But I played it for 2 weeks, put like 100+ hours into it, and was like, "Cool, I'm done." I couldn't do much more in the world without restarting the game because a lot of the side quests are only available in Chapter 2, only available in Chapter 3.
Gotcha.
Like and there's a lot of memes that you'll see online, like stop at Chapter 2 and do everything, stop at Chapter 3 and do everything, because the world really opens up there, which is super cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And I wanted to go back and do that, and just didn't.
Never happened.
And online didn't come out for 2 months, so I never got into online. And by that time, I turned off my Xbox and unplugged it. So why did I turned off my Xbox, unplugged it, and I haven't plugged it back in since then. I only recently plugged in my PlayStation because I started playing Death Stranding on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Which, man, do you want to talk about that game?
Walking
simulator? I know nothing about it, but I mean, sure.
I played it for about 8 hours, and I probably know as much as you do.
Oh, okay, good. Makes sense.
So Death Stranding, you play as a UPS man who has to
you play as an Amazon delivery driver.
I did watch you play it a little bit, and like you heal by drinking Monster. Is that what I'm supposed to understand correctly?
Drink a lot of Monster Energy.
Yes.
Like,
so there is 100% a Monster Energy drink.
Like it is
product placement in this game.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh my! Listen, okay.
They don't even try to hide it. It's hilarious.
Oh, I love it so much because what that tells me is that in the collapse of America, the only thing that fucking survived was Monster Energy drink.
Yep. Also, this game has one of the weirdest collector's editions because you get a baby in a bottle.
You get BB.
Baby in a bottle.
BB, also known as Bottle Baby. That is part of the collection. Like,
it's real weird. That being said, I'm thoroughly enjoying this game to the fullest. I think it's hilariously fun. I completely understand why every single reviewer was saying, like, I don't want to review this game because it's weird, and like, if I tell you to buy this game, you're probably not going to like it, and you're going to get mad at me.
Yeah.
It is a very fun walking simulator. It gets... The weirdest part, though, is it goes from, like, normal, like, delivery, happy, driving around, having a good time, because you can't drive in that game. I absolutely have a motorcycle that I've named, like, Monster Howard III or something. I don't know.
Wait, you could name your motorcycle?
Oh, well, I did.
Okay.
I named it Monster after Monster Energy drink, obviously.
I mean, of course, right.
And Howard because it just seemed fitting. But so it goes from driving around and making deliveries to fucking terrifying. In like less than a second, where it's like, hey, yeah, you're having a good time, you're making deliveries, and then it's raining. And now you have a clicker going on telling you where bad stuff is. That is invisible and will attack you. And if it does find you, then these like black creatures that are humanoid will reach out of the ground and try to pull you in. And if they pull you in, they grab you and drag you like a mile away and just start beating you up with this giant black tentacle monster. And if that grabs you, it swallows you and you disappear into like an underwater place.
Yes.
Sounds
and
dope.
then you die and explode, creating a giant crater, and then come back to life.
Yeah, you explode and then come back to life because your character actually can come back to life.
Like in this, like lore-wise, story-wise,
like,
you are like one of these special people that when you die, rather than the normal effects of dying in the game, you will come back to life.
Is it because of all the monster energy you drink?
Who knows? The main problem in this game is that when people die, their bodies start to necrotize, which, if not incinerated within a short time after doing so, they will explode like a nuclear bomb, killing everything around. Yeah, killing everything around them. This happens to you if you die as well, but you then come back to life.
Yes. So, like, your character has some...
So do you have to go find your old corpse and burn it then?
No, but you do need to find your spirit and connect to it to come back to life.
Yes.
Because you just blow up. Like, you die, and you basically end up underwater at a place called, like, the beach, which is, like, a halfway point between life and death.
Yep.
Game's like...
also, your little baby in a bottle can get upset. You then have to take the baby and shake the baby.
You rock the baby. If you shake the baby, it gets mad. Trust me.
There's two kinds of people. Chat. Oh my god.
I tried shaking the baby. It got mad at me.
Don't shake babies.
So you have to shake the baby to make it calm
Don't
down.
shake babies. It's bad.
And then attach it back to your chest. Because that's where it lives.
And every time you attach it to your chest, Mads Mikkelsen starts saying, "Hey, it's Daddy. Let me tell you a story." Which is great because I could listen to that man read a phone book.
So yeah, it's a very strange game. I am not picking it up because I want to play through it.
Game.
I'm not picking it up for full price. When it goes on sale for like $20, $25, I'll pick it up then.
You should get it on PC when it comes out for that.
It'll probably be out for PC by then, yeah.
It comes out on PC in summer.
I have been struggling to find myself in a position where I want to take the time to dedicate to any sort of single player game. Like even like I was gonna start Outer Worlds yesterday and I decided not to because I'm like, well,
Pokemon. I'll be dedicating time to Pokemon and Jedi. Because I have access to Jedi for free, so there's no reason not to play it.
Yep, I'm gonna sign up for Origin again.
I'm gonna do all three of those at some point. It's going to be
Pokemon. Yeah. I love those games. So
I'm gonna play. Maybe I'll just say fuck it and play Outer Worlds when Pokemon comes out, and then play Pokemon, and then play Fallen Order. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, Fallen Order or Fallen. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order.
It looks similar to like the Jedi Knight games. Like
yeah,
Jedi
I
Knight,
used to fucking love
Jedi
those
Academy.
games.
Yeah, that was my shit. So I'm really excited. I could always use lightsaber stuff, and I got a new controller now.
You mean a box of rocks?
Yeah, I got a box of rocks. Man, should I tell the story of my fucking adventure to get a controller? Because I don't.
He had to go to like 8 stores.
I also called every single store ahead of time.
And
asked if they had one.
It's like, yeah, we don't have them. It's like, or we have one in stock. Gets there. Yeah, we sold it. Like,
then I called GameStop. Fuck GameStop. Called GameStop. Hey, do you have any controllers? Yeah, we have one. Can you put it on hold for me? I'll be there in an hour. Yeah, sure thing. Puts it on hold. I get there an hour later. Yeah, sorry, we sold it.
It's like, yeah, I see it in the system here on hold for you. Hold on. Oh yeah, our manager sold that.
Yeah, literally, my manager sold it. What do you mean your manager sold it? Well, sorry. Could you at least have called me before I drove an hour out of my way to come pick up a fucking controller? Like, it's, man. Don't shop at GameStop.
Don't shop at GameStop.
The Microsoft store called me back, though, and was like, hey, we got a controller for you. We know you're sad. Come on over, boy. And they were all super nice. Even though when I went over before, I asked if Microsoft could put the controller on hold, and they were like, no, we can't do that. And then I got there, and they're like, well, the only ones we have are on hold.
Oh, man. Okay.
I wasn't happy. It was really annoying.
So, if people wanted to come make you happier on the internet, comfy and cheer you up, where would they have to do that?
Hold on.
Oh.
We haven't actually decided which show we're gonna watch.
I thought we were doing Devil as a part-timer.
Oh, we were doing Love.
Oh.
I thought we were doing. Yeah, I'd say let's do Love because I know
Let's do
Comfy
Love,
hasn't
yeah.
seen that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a good.
Either
I
way.
think that's a good move.
It's a new show to him, and we.
What is it called?
You know,
Love, Shinobu, and other things. We'll link it.
Okay, please.
It's a weird name.
It is on Crunchyroll, I'm pretty sure,
It
and
is definitely on Crunchyroll.
I know if you're in Canada, it is on Netflix. I don't know about the American.
I typed it in the thing. I am also hilarious because it's not the right name, but it's a new name and I like it.
Love Chernobyl. Yeah.
Can we make a parody show? Love Chernobyl and other things and other delusions.
Maybe.
I mean, if we're making a parody of this, usually it's a porn parody, and so Chernobyl tentacle monsters.
Yes.
Oh, good lord.
All right.
Well, how about
stop.
you can find me.
There you go.
Mixer.com/Comfimus, Instagram and Twitter @Comfimus, and in my house being depressed. Copper, where can we find you?
Oh no.
You can find me at carpeliondesigns.com or Carpelion Art, Carpelion Designs on Instagram, Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And you can find me. I am mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance, Twitter and Instagram at _Mr. Vengeance, where we do all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, next week, Love, not Chernobyl, but it sounds kind of like
Shinobu.
Love, Shinobu, and other things will be what we're covering next week. Thanks for hanging out this week, guys.
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you soon.